Teddy Roosevelt said about democracy, it is a messy, chaotic thing, and it's only right about half the time. But it's the best political system I've seen. And I agree with that. And we hold democracy sacred here in America. It's even got more power in the fact of the individual rights that we have. And at the heart of democracy is the right to vote. But the message I want to get across today is democracy is not always right, as Teddy said, and it sometimes can be really, really bad. Back in 1932, the German people in a free, open election voted to elect Adolf Hitler and his Nazi political party into power. Well, that cost tens of millions of people their lives. And here in America, we talk about all the threats to democracy. January 6th riot was a threat to democracy. Of course, Trump is a threat to democracy and his followers, really any conservative view. But regardless, the real great threat to democracy is democracy itself. I want to use the story of the killing of Jesus, which was an act of democracy. But maybe we can learn something from this that will, it will make our approach to the voting booth a little bit different. Now, Jesus, he only walked around Israel as a minister and a teacher for about 3 years. During that time, he amassed a huge following. Understandably so, his ability to teach in incredible ways, he healed people of their diseases, performed all kinds of miracles. And I have to tell you, if I had seen him speak to the storm, the winds, and tell them to shut up and calm down, and they did, I think I would have said, you know what, I'm going to follow this guy. Now, he grew such a following, he became a political threat to the leaders at that time. Now, the local leaders, who were Jews, they were led by what was called the Sanhedrin, which was Pharisees and Sadducees. They actually called a meeting strictly to discuss the Jesus problem. So they met at Caiaphas' house. He was the sort of the Mitch McConnell or Chuck Schumer guy at that time. And the conclusion was Jesus had to die. He was a threat to their political power and the relationship they had with the Roman Empire, which was the ultimate ruler of all. Now, they did not have the legal authority to kill Jesus, so they set up a plan. They paid one of Jesus' followers to betray him, and they arrested Jesus and then took him to Pilate. Now, Pilate interviewed Jesus and said, you know what, I can't find this guy committed a single crime. I find no fault with him. And so he went to the people and he said, I am going to give you something you've never had before, and that is the right to vote. You're going to feel what democracy feels like. I'm going to free one of two guys. We've got this guy over here. His name's Barabbas, hardened criminal, murderer, insurrectionist, a thief. And then I got this guy, Jesus, who I can't find anything wrong with. But you can vote. You can decide who I free. They voted overwhelming victory for freeing Barabbas. And not only was the vote enough, they began to chant as mobs do, crucify him, crucify him. And you know the rest, Jesus went to his death. But Pilate said something strategic, though, to the people. He said, you know what? His blood is on your hands. That's really the message when we vote today. If you think democracy is important, don't just try to get a zillion people to sign up that know nothing. Have people to seriously consider the person, the party, the policy they're voting on, because it could be that you're going to have blood on your hands based on that vote.